Let us talk about Pradhan Mantri Janani Suraksha Yojana. Let us talk about any scheme like digital, you can say digital India or digital penetration into the country. Let us talk about any particular scheme which has different sections of society involved. The first and the foremost thing that the government looks forward to is the social welfare of the people. Even that is mentioned in our constitution, wherein you'll read constitution in your GS paper 2 for Indian polity, that why the government takes certain affirmative actions. If we talk about things like reservation, a sociologist would never question the affirmative actions like reservation into a negative connotation. We would always understand that there are sections of society that have been vulnerable. There are sections of society that have been marginalized. And in order to uplift them, in order to empower them, such measures have always been the demand of the nation and the society. And as a sociologist, we can understand that why a certain scheme is being implemented. If we are talking about poverty and the social aspect of poverty, for a sociologist, it is so easy to understand the vicious cycle of poverty. If we talk about problems of child marriage, if we talk to someone who's a geography expert for that matter, can tell that which are the areas in India where child marriage is prevalent. But a sociologist would understand what is the mindset at which a child would be when a child is married at such an early age, or for that matter, a child's family has to suffer from these menace like child marriage. What is the societal pressure behind the marriage of a child, and what is that vicious cycle of life of a woman who is married at an early age, and then she has been giving birth to children and has not attained her education. What would be her life be, and how would she progress in the society, and what kind of upbringing she would be able to give to her children? We as sociologists understand these dimensions, and that is why this subject lets you see beyond the prism, beyond the boundaries of our knowledge, or beyond the boundaries of what we have read. We are able to sensitize and put ourselves into the shoes of others and understand the societal issues, the real time issues. At the same time, when we talk about international issues like terrorism, we talk about extremism, activities like left wing extremism problems that are existing in India. We as sociologists are probably able to understand what would be a mindset of a terrorist to come behind such activities and have forced into terrorism. When we talk about examples of OTT platforms coming up with web series or movies like Gangubai, we are able to understand that prostitution is just not something which is a menace in society. In fact, so many women are pushed into it, forced to be into such businesses, and then they have no life further. Because as sociologists, we are also involved into reading of case studies, solving them, at the same time going for surveys and research. So we are able to understand and be very considerate about it. I exactly remember while I was doing my graduation, we had a concept of term papers. And those term papers were on different lines for that matter. We had to choose a topic related to anything and everything our field. And we could prepare a term paper assignment which involved research. Really sorry for the background noise. So I exactly remember that there was a term paper that I did that was sexual harassment of women in university and colleges, and I conducted a research by myself with respect to this issue in university and colleges. So with the help of my mentors, my teachers out there like Rachna ma'am and other teachers who have always been there supporting us, I could understand that I had to prepare a questionnaire. So I remember I prepared a questionnaire and I took survey inside the university campus, Khalsa College, studying in BBK, college. So I told her also collect some samples from BBK college. So from here and there, we could collect some samples with respect to the questionnaire of sexual harassment cases. The shocking evidence was that there are so many cases that happen in colleges and universities and never come up front. And we never get to understand that these issues have to be highlighted or have to be seen. And after that, I exactly remember that we had a sexual harassment cell in the university, and I had met the chairman directly over there. It was inactive. We had it very much active on the university website. When you go, you see a sexual harassment cell there. But at that time, I remember it was inactive. So we had conducted meetings at the departmental level. We also conducted meetings with the sexual harassment cell members. We came out with certain cases, we showed them the research, and then after that, the sexual harassment cell actually got very much active. So there are changes that you can do at initial level, and of course you can bring them to the next level. It's just about the will of doing it. At the same time, when I was coming back to civil service examination, when you talk about issues of economy, like we talk about distress of agriculture, we talk about wage differences, or we talk about gender inequality for that matter, or different wage for different genders, we as sociologists are able to really understand that patriarchy had been done in the society so many years ago. And it's important that we do not teach just the women in the society the way how they need to behave, or the way how they need to structure themselves, or the way how they need to believe in themselves or not. In fact, it's important to teach both men and women to be equal participants of anything and everything in life together. And that's why raising of equal society is very important. It's so important to also raise your children very well. And as sociologists, when you go out and you openly speak about these ideas in conversations with people, when you're able to read in depth in your graduation, in your post graduation, and especially for an exam like civil services, you can change lives. I have seen transforming people's thinking just because I have also involved myself into teaching. And through an academy, I've also tried to take so many batches out there with respect to these subjects. I have seen the influence happening in people. Just by reading or understanding, one cannot put themselves into that situation. So transforming with society comes only when you're able to understand society at a better position. So hence I believe that this subject can actually transform an individual in and out, and can give you a larger perspective, a broad perspective with respect to society. It gives you the power to speak. It empowers you from within and lets you go and face the reality and see the changes that are happening. Today, I want to share a very personal incidents, and I feel that I have dealt very gracefully with this, and I feel happy about talking about this incidents today, because I feel that this is what is required. So, what sociology has done to me personally is that during 2018, there was an incidence of stalking that happened with me. And there was a person that I knew personally in the beginning, and then that person started stalking me. Um, you know, uh, Trying to chase me and trying to trouble me up, and trying to always hamper my way, and always trying to get into conflicts and fights with me over my personal contact number or social media for that matter. And then I had to complain against the person, because uh, that person was making my life hell, because it was very difficult to deal with the situation at that point of time. I, as a person, remembered the sexual harassment concept that I had done in my graduation degree at Guru Nanak Dev University. And then I could actually remember that why such cases remain suppressed, because there is no complaint mechanism. Women do not get up and do not speak about it, because we feel that if we speak about it, we are somehow getting into insults, or we are getting into some personal problem, or some issue will happen. But at the same time, we are not understanding that if we are not saying no to something, and we are not stopping someone from treating us in certain way, we will never be able to stop that menace further in the society. After filing the complaint also, the person still kept on harassing and for that matter stalking me on social media platforms. And to this state that this stalking happened on my social media platforms, on Telegram, from Instagram to Facebook, everywhere I had my public profile. If you search Vani Mehra on Google, you will find my name, you will find my public profiles. But then it became so difficult for me. But till this day, I feel that I am standing very, very strong to these situations, and I'm able to talk about it and take certain stringent measures, blocking of the contacts, reporting of the contacts, complaining mechanism, etc. Because we women cannot stop. The only purpose of such stalkers can be in the society in order to suppress your public image. or ruin your public image, because they know that you are a public figure. They know you're going to go out and speak in front of so many people. So they can only defame your name, because that is your asset. Your name is your asset. And any women getting empowered in the society, rising up in the society, is not very much accepted by the other people. That is why they are being put down. And it's not just with women, you talk about so many transgenders, you talk about other sections of society which are vulnerable. So, as sociologists, you're able to understand, you're able to be considerate, and you are able to respect the opinions of others. And hence, I believe it can transform others' lives as well. Importance of sociology, strictly for competitive exams, if I talk about. So, in civil service examination, if you choose to do an optional subject like sociology, you require to read a lot, because here your personal opinions have to be shaped by the knowledge that you acquire from different sources. Personal opinions cannot actually lead you to examination, so you need a particular kind of language, the book, to go through certain topics of the syllabus that are there in UPSC, so that all of us are aware about what are you going to pursue if you choose to go through civil services examination or choose to appear for civil service examination. So in UPSC, the syllabus of sociology is almost the same that we have done in our graduation and post-graduation. The topics are with respect to the introduction of sociology, in which you also discuss about the history of sociology, emergence of sociology, how after the Renaissance period sociology had emerged into the society. At the same time, there are other topics also, modernity and social change. How did the social change happen with respect to modernity in the society? How sociology is a common sense, relationship of sociology with other social sciences, sociology as a science, what are the research methodologies we use in sociology, and friends, all of you might be using these methods on a regular basis. So you also get to understand that how do you use sociology as a science. Sociological thinkers, thinkers like Karl Marx, thinkers like Talcott Parsons, thinkers like Robert Merton, thinkers like Mead, they have shaped the subject in a very different manner. They have given us the theories to understand the perspective in the society. For example, if we talk about suicide, for someone to explain suicide, it could be a very simple phenomena that a person has committed suicide. There could be certain issues that he's not able to handle, and that is why he chose the path of suicide or ending his life. But in sociology, there is a complete theory involved in order to explain suicide. How does a person feel aloof? How does a person feel disintegrated from the main society or from the other people in the society? What is this internal loneliness that can lead to suicide or action like suicide? That how this is not a choice, how it becomes a decision over a period of time. For example, if you talk about administrative model, bureaucracy for that matter, Max Weber has actually given, the entire detail about the bureaucratic model. How does hierarchy work in a bureaucratic model? How does a structure work in a bureaucratic model? What is the importance of a hierarchy? Who is accountable to whom in the hierarchical structure? So this actually leads you to understand things and dimensions of public administration also. Because solely you're not just reading sociology, you are reading little concept of polity here, wherein you understand how the government works, you understand why society behaves in certain way, why people are dissatisfied, why there is stratification into the society, why people migrate from one place to another, why there is mobility in the society, how works in economic life, how does we have a balance on it, and at the same time, what is the relation between labor and society. Topic of sociology, and what is socialization of politics, things like that. What is casteization of politics and what is politicization of caste. We talk about religion, about the concept of secularism, how one religion is not above or below another religion, how all the religions stand equal in society. Religion is the demand of the society to keep the society in order. That is what sociology talks about religion. It does not put you into a situation to understand religion in one perspective only. The only thing that sociology explains religion as is that it keeps the society in order. because every particular person who follows their own religion and guidelines will be able to keep themselves in order. So that is the definition of religion in sociology. At the same time, if I ask somebody, so you want to get married, and they will be like, yes, I want to get married, and then I want to, have a family, emotions, a wife who will love me, a husband who will love me. But sociology says no. Marriage is a social institution for reproduction. That's it. So this gives you the reality of why we are into these social institutions. Why are we actually a part of this system? What are we actually trying to, achieve out of this entire system of family, of marriage, of kinship, of relationships, etc. So these are different things that we also talk in sociology. So this is about paper one. The paper one is for 250 marks, the paper two is for 250 marks. Subject is same, but paper one is theoretical, paper two is practical. So what is paper two all about? Paper two talks about concepts and perspective of Indian society. What about Indian society? We've always seen people, imitating each other in different groups of society, trying to act like each other, trying to wear clothes like each other. Very beautifully, this concept has been known as Sanskritization. The society has a concept of Sanskritization wherein we try to act and behave and wear, our food habits also change according to the groups and social institutions that we look up to. So this is something that is very beautifully aligned in GS paper 2, where you talk about Indian society, the concept of Indian society, impact of colonial rule on Indian society, how the modernization of Indian tradition has happened. I always have taught my students throughout that we all live in a concept of mistaken modernity. If we would have modernized in a real sense, that we would never be in a conflict with caste, religion,